Recording in progress.
Hello. Let's. Hello. This is so fun. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Okay. So excited you guys are here. If I'm going to be letting everyone in, so I'm going to pause it. So we're going to get this recording going. Yay. Okay. So my intention, I want to start with the intentions, and y'all can write your intentions as well. So my intention today is to powerfully connect with you all. I want to really deliver some really great, valuable, actionable content that you can take. So make sure you have your pen and your paper, and you won't just, consume, right? We all have enough info, but you actually JFDI, which is my slogan, just effing do it. And if you're one of my clients, I send out my clients this mug, but it's really cute. It says, speak your way to success with the Moxley method. So, okay. So basically in today's talk, I want to go over the 5 fatal mistakes entrepreneurs make that block them from success and block them from money and block them from clients. So there's 5 key areas. And then for fun, I threw in a 6th, a bonus. And the other thing I want to do is I want to go through the 4 core moves that I made that allowed me to go from looking for a job, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that story, to actually making, I calculated yesterday, $52,000 in the 45 days. Okay. So if I can do this, so can you. And I am really excited to share it with you. So you all are in the right place. If you have a burning desire to be an entrepreneur, you want to do this full time, you know that you color outside of the lines and you're not meant for the normal, and you're here to help people, and you have a higher vision. Thank you. I love these. When you guys nod at me, it makes me feel like awesome. So, exactly, like you're in the right place. Like, that you're meant to do something bigger, but like there might be a back door open where you're like, well, I could do that. And so you got to get your hand off the back door. But basically you're in the right place if you really, you have a soul purpose and you want to make it happen, but you don't know how to make it happen, or a little bit, but maybe you're not taking the action and you're ready to make a big change. Can I get an amen if that's you? Amen. Like, yes, this is what I want. Amen. Amen. Okay. So here's what happened. I'm going to go over, I told you you guys all got the opt-in page, so you know what I'm going to go over. But first I'm going to start off with a little story about what happened with me. So many of you know, I've been coaching for 17 years. So I have been literally coaching since 2005. I quit my social work job in 2006. I have a master's, and in 2006, I quit that, and I have been 100% self-employed since then. And a few months ago, probably like 6 months ago, I reached out to an old mentor because I noticed she hadn't been on Facebook, and she used to be really, really consistent. And I reached out to her I reached out to her on personal message, and she said, hold on, let me let Diane in. So I reached out to her. Hi, Diane. I reached out to her on personal message. And what she said was that she had quit her coaching business and had a lot of bad things to say about the coaching business, the coaching world, and just kind of like her frustration with it. And basically like, it's blah, blah, blah. I won't even activate it because it won't help. Anyway, she's like, I think you should get a job. And so I was like, oh, a job would be really nice because like you'd have consistent income, you'd have like all these things. And I played this game called Cash Flow, which is what is it? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Kiyosaki's game. And my key takeaway of that game was that I was like a doctor or something in that. And I was getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. I was like, key takeaway. And the instructor who led us through the activity said, that's not the point of this game. The point is to get out of that rat race. And anyway, I was like, that would feel really good. Just, it can be a roller coaster. And maybe some of you bought my book called End Your Money Drama, Get Off the Feast or Famine Roller Coaster that I wrote many, many years ago. But anyway, I'm so happy to see you. So anyway, I was like, that'd be really nice. So anyway, I decided for fun, I just went and looked at getting a job. So I go and I'm looking at getting a job and I'm like, oh, this is really fun. And I looked at marketing and sales. I looked at coaching, and then I looked at marketing and sales. And so I ended up getting an interview with someone, and they were like, yeah, so you'll be a part of our team and you will be, I'm just telling my story really quick here. So they're like, you'll be a part of a team and we'll have team meetings on Thursday nights and your whole family will be involved and you'll be coming down to the office every week and you'll be this and you'll be that. And I was like, oh, my soul was just shrinking and like, no, contraction. I do not want that. And then but it sounded fun too, because you were like in sales and you were learning something new and I liked it. But he said, and that will be $38,000. And I was like, a month? And he's like, no, a year. And that's what we'll start you out as. So I was like, thank you very much. I literally rejected the offer on the call. And the guy was like shocked. He was like, wait, what? You're rejecting me here? And I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. Thank you so much. And we hung out. And then that night was a pivotal night for me because I realized I had, like a lot of you, and I've shared this over the years, like I have had a dream to make $1 million in a year. I've wanted that for a really long time. And yet sometimes my actions don't exactly equivalent that because I really value freedom and fun. And if you guys follow me on social media, you know, I'm like always just biking and skiing and traveling and doing fun things. I'm not exactly a workaholic. So I really value my freedom. So when the guy said, okay, you can make 38,000, I looked and I was like, well, I've already made that in the last couple of months. And I had this pivotal shift where I said, what if I release that dream of making $1 million and holding on so tightly to I have to make $1 million? And what if I relax on that and I'm actually just content with what I have? And I literally just released the pressure. And I was like, what if I just am content? Because I know God always provides. 17 years of being an entrepreneur, God has been faithful, 100%. Amen. Every single time, everything always works out. So I had this pivotal moment and I was like telling John, my husband, I said, John, well, I could release. He's like, I said, I don't really need to make $1 million a year. I really don't need to do that. And I was like, I could literally just make, a certain amount of what I need. And all of a sudden, you guys, all this pressure dropped, all this, like, I don't know if this is helpful, but something shifted for me. It was a pivotal moment where everything just dropped. And I was like, huh. And I just kind of relaxed instead of pushing and striving. And I thought to myself, well, I exercise about 2 hours a day. Like I could just really enjoy it. I can just enjoy my 1 hour walks with my dog and my 1 hour time at the gym and working a couple hours. And that's okay. And it was weird. It was weird because I've been striving for the million for a long time. So that was a huge shift. And I realized to go into a state of gratitude, which I know we all try to practice, but truly being grateful for the freedom, the lifestyle, and the freedom that we all have as entrepreneurs. And that to me is more valuable than money, obviously, or going and working for a job. So how many of you guys have a job right now? Put in the chat if you have a job, just put a J. Or how many of you are like thinking, maybe I should get a job? I know one of you guys put on my Facebook post that, you're looking and you have been. So post in there and let's just kind of see. Okay, yep, I know Suzanne has an awesome job with Franklin Covey, traveling and doing great things. So some of us are not. Okay, so those of us who, so what I want to go through now are the 5 pivotal mistakes, the 5 key mistakes. Yeah, exactly. Need income and relate to your story so deeply. Was looking so depressing. Back to building my business. Okay, good. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so what we want to do, I'm just going to mute that because it a little distracts me. Okay, so I want to go through the 5 fatal mistakes and you guys want to take notes. Let me just make sure. Okay. So here is the key. Okay, so mistake number 1 is such a good one. is number one is stop having a back door. Stop having a plan B. So if you have one hand on the back hand of the door and one hand forward, this is, and Napoleon Hill talks about it. Maybe you all have read Think and Grow Rich, but he talks about, both, you have to burn the ships. You literally, and I was like, the two mistakes were letting someone who had no authority over me speak into my life and speak over my business. And so you really have to be cautious on who you share your vulnerability with and make sure they are in alignment with who you are and what you want to do and where you're headed for your future. So having a backdoor or plan B. So a lot of my clients right now, even in Speak Your Way to Success, they are still offering one-off sessions to their clients. So they're, getting $150 a session. And that to me is also a plan B. So I think you need to burn the ships. You need to take your hand off that back door and you need to just make a decision. So my question for you guys is, what is your plan B? Like in the tinkling of your mind, somewhere in there, it's like, well, I could get a job. So what is your plan B? If you want, you can type it in. So what is your back door? What is your well, if this doesn't work out, because that little tinkering right here is what's blocking you from fully committing and going for it. So maybe do the research like I did, utilize my PhD. Yep, that would be good. I know. And I could still offer 197 session. Yep, that's a plan B. Because I could do social work, but I was like, there's no way I want to go. I didn't want to do it from the first place 17 years ago. So why would I want to do it now? Plus I burned the ships and I didn't renew my license. So I would have to retake the test, which I luckily passed. Get a job and just overbroke. Exactly. I work for another coach in sales while I build my income. That's good because you're working on your strengths, which I remember you, Diane, doing that, which is great. Gave up nursing. Yeah. So good. Okay. So both hands on the driver's wheel. And it may be some point, if you want to go full into your business, maybe you say, okay, in 4 months, I'm going to quit this job. So having a backdoor, literally. So once I realized, Amanda, you can't even get a job because it won't even pay you, I will never think about that ever again. I took a job for 3 years, just left in June. That's good. Okay. Was that doing the coaching for the sales coach? Yeah. That's probably, okay. And nursing. Got it. You can type it in there. Okay. So mistake number 2 is not trusting yourself. That's huge. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, do you trust yourself? Like, do you really in your core, in your solar plexus, trust yourself? Like, I trust myself. I trust myself that I can do this. Because I was facing a decision a couple of weeks ago and it was a big decision, a big investment. And I was like, do I trust myself? And I had to go to bed thinking of that. And I'm like, do I trust myself? And so good. Okay. So what would get you to a 10? So this is going to be everything, you guys. Once you get yourself to a 10, then you will be unstoppable. So mistake number 2 is not trusting. So what would get you to a 10? And what is blocking you? What is blocking you from being a 10? I know I'm very good at what I do, but feel burnt out. Okay. So maybe you need to rest. I don't know what would get me to a 10. So then I would look at, why am I not a 10? What about, where in my life am I out of integrity with my word? If I say I'm going to do something, a simple thing, if you set your alarm and you hit snooze, you're not trusting yourself because you're not following through. So if you hit snooze, you're telling your subconscious, hey, I can snooze all day. My goals don't matter. So really kicking your own butt as your own boss, enjoying what I do, perhaps changing my niche would help. Yes, it would. So where else are you? Hey, you know what? I'm not going to eat chips this week. And then you find yourself eating chips, or you say you're going to work out. I'm obviously into working out and health food, but it could be something else. Like, I'm not going to watch Netflix and instead I'm going to work on my business. And then you're working you're doing Netflix. So find those little energy leaks where you're breaking down, and really focus on, like, do I trust myself? Never hit snooze again, ever. Like, I mean, here's what I do. Put the alarm outside of your bed. And then what you do is the night before, you rehearse what you're going to do, so that you're going to tell yourself, I'm getting up, and as soon as your feet hit the floor, say, today's going to be a great day. That's what I do. Okay. So the other key, you guys, is believing in you, so mistake number 2, not trusting yourself, not believing in you, not having confidence in you. And this sounds so trivial, but this is really everything. And I had my YouTube video last week where I told the story how John was like wetting the bed in tears about how he's like, I believe in you. I believe in you. And I was like, wow, that's really nice. He really believes in me, but I didn't believe in me. I'm like, I had to you have to work through your limiting beliefs around worthiness and all that crap that just is literally just a limiting belief that needs to be worked through. So having confidence, if you see other, like men, for example, I think have a more confidence than women in business. And so it's like, have more confidence, which is a huge mistake number 2. Okay. Mistake number 3 is not, this is really like the base of absolutely everything. And if you don't have these things, then you are making a mistake. So not having a signature system, not having like, these are the steps I take people through to go from A to Z to get the results. So you need to have your own system. So I just enrolled a new client the other day, and her last name is Silver. So we came up with like the silver lining system. Another one of my clients, for example, is named Melinda, and she's all about Maui and all these wonderful things. And I said, let's do the Maui manifesto. But we shifted it to manifesting miracles with Melinda. So do you have a system? Do you have, like, I have Speak Your Way to Success with the Moxley method. So you want a signature system that holds you, and literally it holds you. I remember when I was a health coach and I was new finding my voice, and my dad's girlfriend at the time was like, well, what do you actually, she was like perfectly skinny and perfect everything. And she was like, so what do you do with your clients? And I was like, I just relaxed back and I was like, I have a system that works. And when you do it, it's like running, it works. And I take my clients through my system. So do you have that? Do you have that confidence? This is my system. This is how I work with people. And this is how I get them results. So your system holds you. It literally is like the carrier. It's the base that will carry you forever and continuously. Okay. Don't have a system. Okay. So I'll look at that in a sec. So, okay. So you want to have a system that you're known for, which you're speaking your truth. You're being vulnerable. It's vulnerable. And a lot of people don't want to share their story, or they don't know what story to share, or they have so many stories. How many of you have so many stories that you don't know which one to share? So then you just keep spinning your wheels. So once you nail down your story, that story is for your client. That story is for your audience. And the story needs to be close to your heart so that you feel vulnerable. And you want to have a story that shows your vulnerability. And at the same time, it shows your expert status. It's like, here's where, like for me, my story, I was like, hey guys, I was literally looking for a job like 6 months ago for like a week. And then I made $54,000 in like 45 days once I finally took my hand off the back door. So that's a showcase of mess to success. And it's vulnerable, and it's not something like I wanted to share in the emotional moment. But now that I'm on the other side, I'm willing to share. So, okay. So you want to have your system. So we're still on mistake number 3. So you have your story and your system, and your story and your system then are a preview of your program. So then you're previewing your signature program, and you're known for that. And instead of being a generalist, you are a specialist. You are this person who, hey, I can refer 5 to 10 people to you a month because I know that's what you specialize in. So do you all have a specialty that you are specializing in? Good. That solves a plane is crashing problem that your ideal client knows he or she has, that they are willing to pay money for because they're in enough emotional pain or problem that they need help getting out of it. So that was mistake number 3. Mistake number 4 is huge. It is not owning your value and charging for the transformation you provide. So back to Maria having her 197 session. So a lot of times when we do one-off, what happens is it's kind of like a one-night stand. It's like giving someone like a little bit of action for one night, but then leaving them hanging. Or like when I first got together with John, like like last century, I remember like closing my eyes and visualizing us, my ideal guy, and we were in cozy ski sweaters and we were snuggling by the fire. And I just remember I visualized spooning all the time, just cozy love, like holding on. I didn't like visualize like a one night stand. I wanted like a man that was like spooning me and feeling so cozy. So this is what your ideal client wants. Your ideal client wants a long-term commitment of transformation and charging for the lifetime value of that. So not charging like, one-offs. Exactly. So I'm looking back at your chat. So what you want to do is really focus on owning the value. And I know people are thinking, oh no, we're in a recession. We're, the doom and gloom of what's going on in the world, which clearly, I mean, they're printing money. It's kind of going to be interesting what happens over the next X amount of years. But the thing is, we want to rise up into more of a kingdom consciousness and not so much into the reality, because the thing is, people will pay for what they want. And you want to get people literally buy because they want to buy. Yay, exactly. There's no recession here in Utah. There's a million people are building everywhere you go. So let's go. I love that. No recession here in Boston. Amen. That's awesome. So really owning your value, you guys, people will pay it, but you have to be courageous to say, it's $50,000. Would you please pass the butter? Just practice it without a weird bump. Just, this is what it is. And just ask. The other thing with not owning your value is that you're playing small and you're comfortable. So you want to do things that are stretching you out of your comfort zone. And the more that you do that, then how many of you feel like you're comfortable? Like I have been a creature of comfort, definitely. Oh, so that comfort. Okay, good. At times, absolutely comfortable. Yep. So we want to try to find the pleasure in discomfort and stretch. It's like Alana and I, we were both, I don't know if you still are, but I was a Bikram yoga teacher. And so when you're doing that triangle pose, it hurts. I actually haven't done yoga in 2 years, you guys. Child's pose is painful for me. Do you know how sad that is? Like literally, that's where I'm at right now with this body because I've been biking so much. My point is that when we stretch and get uncomfortable, then we apply our breath, and then the breath helps you expand and stretch. And so we want to really continuously be stretching by owning your value. Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. So mistake number 5 is sucking at sales. And this is something that, or not asking for the sale. How many of you, I know a lot of you on here are probably really great at sales. You've done it as a profession. You're great at selling other people's stuff, but maybe not so great at selling your own. Like you could sell something for someone else, hands down. You probably refer things, people, exactly. But then when it comes to you, you're not so great at that. So that is key, this is a mistake. So you want to shift that, really selling a service. It's literally, I came up with this acronym called, well, not even, it's SSS. You want to solve a problem. You want to serve first. and you want to sell. And those are the three other steps there. So really getting into your heart, solving a plane is crashing problem. You're helping someone, they're in pain, they need help. And really being, and the key to sales is asking questions and being empathetic and knowing what they want and really helping them find the solution. And the key to sales is really in giving versus taking, because the transformation is made in that transaction. When your client and when you guys step up to your next level, what happens for all of us is that all of a sudden they're almost that next level person. So don't be afraid to sell, practice selling, learn to sell. And that was mistake number 4. Okay. Or excuse me, number 5. Okay. So mistake number 6, which is a bonus. Okay. I actually, when I was writing this talk, I was like, honestly, I could probably do like 100 mistakes. So this might just be part 1. I'm just going to grab a little more water. And mistake number 6 is drink more water. Why don't you guys all drink a little water? And if you want, you can stand up with me. It feels pretty good. Cheers. Okay. All right. So mistake number 6, or bonus 6 is not mastering your emotions. Oh, this is so big. So this is really the biggest thing that I've been working on over the last several years is mastering the emotions. So examples, you get upset if you're getting upset, you're getting triggered. And whenever you have a trigger, it's like having a tantrum. So you're annoyed, you're in lack, you're not enough. And I'll give you guys a great example of myself because it will just be vulnerable. So I was on vacation all last week, so I didn't really work in my business. And then I really only sent one email out about this class. And then yesterday I went to check how many people had enrolled in the class, and there were, webinar, masterclass, and there were 10 people. And just to be real, I'm going to be real. I Voxered my friend, and I was like, so there's 10 people. And I was just watching my language. I replayed my Voxer. And I don't take this personally, guys. I'm so happy you're here. So don't take offense by this. But I was like, should I do it? It makes me sad to even think about it. I'm just being I'm like, there's only 10. And then I listened to my Voxer and I listened to what I said. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm changing that. I'm totally doing that. I remember when I first started, nobody showed up on my calls. I had my home phone right here. And then I had my cell phone because you needed to have 2 calls on the conference call in order to record it. So I had my cell phone tucked under the pillow in the guest bedroom, and I gave it my all. Like I was just going for it. And I'm like, remembering that. And I'm like, so master your emotions and really be grateful for everything that you get. If exactly. And you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. And here's the key here with these emotions is honestly, you don't need, when you're owning your value and you have your system, I made $30,000 from 2 clients. So you really don't need 7 billion people. You need maybe what I like to do with my clients, make your income goal, type in your income goal, if you like, for this year. And I'm so grateful you're here. So put in your income goal. And then what you're going to do is put your price of your program, your investment for your program. So let's say, okay, 10K a month. It was, okay. So what you're going to, was that 1.5 million or 1,500? So you want to make 10K a month. So that's 120. So what's your price point of your program? So great. I don't have a program set up. Okay. 1.5 million. Yeah, baby. So then what you want to do is what is your price point? Let's say, just for easy, let's say you want to get, if you have a $5,000 program, that's 2 clients a month. That's 12. Is that 12, guys? 10 times, yes, no, 2 times 12. Oh my gosh, it's 24. That's 24 people 24 people a year times 5,000, and you will make your goal. So yes. What is your goal? So if you really think about it, 24 people, and when you realize your emotions, your income is going to go like my income, there'll be days or weeks where there's nothing. And then there'll be a day, which I'm going to share with you my 4 core moves here. There'll be a day when the big income comes. So it's about dropping into the joy and the gratitude, appreciation, all the things I'm sure you all teach and also apply and read all about. But really cultivating that as a practice, like, wow, I'm really, really grateful and appreciating and just inhaling and exhaling into that. So really mastering your emotions. So one thing you can do is write down your triggers. When you get triggered, I've been doing this, little things trigger you. And I learned this tapping where you tap around your ears. And, there's different ways of tapping, but just write down your triggers, because your triggers are what are blocking you from what you desire. So what is it that is triggering you? Because those triggers are all little blocks and chinks in your armor. So you're not allowing yourself to receive. So all your triggers, like it could be your kids, it could be your ex, it could be your partner, it could be anyone or anything. We want to look at those triggers because those are little, keys that we want to unlock. And when you unlock those, you're like, why is this even bothering me? And then you're free. And then you're able to allow and receive. So how would you all, on your emotional mastery, emotional intelligence, how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest? Like 10 being like, I am so enlightened with my emotional mastery, and 1 being like, I am flipping out and I'm, all this, whatever. Or maybe you're a 5, or just because that is going to, good. You guys are so emotionally intelligent. Ooh. 9, 8, 7. Okay, good. -10. Yeah, good. 8. Good. So that's good. That is your secret sauce then for you, Dr. Paris Love. When you get triggered, because basically in my earlier work, if you all remember, I talked about the WC in front of the WC, which meant your wounded child is blocking you from your wealth consciousness. So a lot of your wounded child stuff is coming up for healing. And how to confront my triggers. Good. When I'm center, I'm a 10 lately. After the last job, now a 5. Yep. Yes, I bet all those people and all that. Yes, I'd be triggered if I'm working with people. I would be rough. Okay. So just keep working on it. And what I would recommend is just journaling. I feel triggered because, and write out why. Like, exactly. Don't do it. So a lot of times when we're looking for donuts, we're looking for sweetness. Where else can you get sweetness in your life? Where else can you, maybe it's a bath, maybe it's relaxing, maybe it's something else. So, okay. I love that you're being so vulnerable, all of you. So, little triggers, or maybe certain people trigger you. Like I have a key person in my life that I gave birth to that triggers me a lot. And I constantly am, like, wow, why is this even bothering me? Okay. Are we ready? So what out of all those 6 mistakes, which one would you guys put in the comments? Which one, those mistakes that you have made or you're aware that you were making? Put those in the comments because it's fun for me. Or you could pick your first, your number 1 out of all those. What one are you going to work on? Okay. As you're doing that, I want to go through the 4 core moves. Okay. All LOL. Okay. Having a back door. Okay, good. We're closing that back door. Should just rip up your PhD license. Just kidding. That would be rough. Your parents would love that. The biggest is 3, but also 2. Not having a signature. Okay. Not trusting myself. Good. Having a back door. So once you burn those ships, so a lot of you have the back door. I relate to all 5, but 3 will be the open door. Okay. So cool. Okay. So if you all have the back door, you want to run through the scenario of the back door. Like, go and have the job interview and go and see, like, and then be like, you know what? I don't want this. This comes, and once you run the tape all the way through and you're clear, I don't want this, it's going to empower you. And the thing is, you guys, making money is as easy as making pasta. Like, it honestly, it can be so fun. But yes, you do need number 3. If you don't have number 3, then that's the foundation of everything. And I have that. I can obviously help you. I can help you with all these things, and I can tell you about that too. Yeah, yours is leaving your job. Yeah, that's awesome. I remember when I quit my job in 2006, John and I then went and jumped out of a perfectly good airplane. And before that, I had done 3 speaking gigs, and not even gigs, like 2 people showed up and 2 became my clients. But, and I remember jumping out of the airplane, and back then I was into the universe. I wasn't like a believer in God like I am now. I mean, I was, but I'm like fully solidified with God now versus universe, because he's a creator. But anyway, I jumped out of the plane and I was like, and so jump out of a plane or go do something crazy, Suzanne. And when you're ready to celebrate that. Okay. Side note. Okay. Are you guys ready to get the 4 moves? Okay. Do we want the back door, or do we want to let it go? I say let the back door go. Let the back door. You don't want the back door. Because the back door is it's holding you here. Like, I feel like the back door is like here, and you need to commit with both hands forward on the wheel. Okay. So this is a perfect segue to the 4 moves. So when I evaluated, here's what I did, you guys. So once I decided I'm going to do this, I said, okay, I pulled out my journal and I'm like, what I want to do is I want to make 30K in 30 days, and I want to document it. So I documented everything that I did over those 30 days. And it took 9 days to get to 22,000. So the first thing that I did was I decided and I committed to that goal. I was like, I'm going to do this. But with my emotional mastery, I released attachment to thinking like that I would be a good person. I didn't put my significance or my value in doing it or not doing it. I held on loosely. I had high intention, low attachment. Because I was like, if I go and put this out there and I don't make it, that would be pretty embarrassing. But I just committed. And I faced the facts. And the facts were the job wasn't going to work for me. So the facts are whatever the facts are. Okay. So really decide, make the decision that you're going to do this 100%. Go ahead. Do you have a question? You take your hand off the back door, you put both hands forward, and you decide and you commit. And sometimes you have to decide and commit every hour, right? In your case, I'm not getting those damn donuts. Every hour you're recommitting. Okay, that's the first move, is really deciding and committing. Now, the other thing I did when I was in the decision phase is I decided what my niche was going to be, what I wanted to do, and I decided what I wanted to sell. I decided, yes, even if it's a lot of times you have to recommit every hour, you guys. So I knew what my niche was. I knew the problem I wanted to solve. And for me in this experiment, because I have Speak Your Way to Success, I have an automated webinar with Facebook ads, and that thing just kind of runs itself. I wanted to do something creative, and my creativity had been unleashed because I was more in a state of gratitude versus a place of wanting and grabbing and beating myself up because I wasn't where I wanted to be. So I picked my niche, and at the start of that, my niche was like, I'm going to do some health coaching. I was like, I'm going to do some health coaching because I'm living that. That's my seminar story. I mean, I'm passionate about it. That's where I spend most of my time, is exercising, eating healthy and stuff. Okay. So welcome. So we're going through the 4 moves right now. So glad Dawn and Laura are here. Type in hello. Okay, so find your niche. So if you guys know it, type it in. What is the problem that you're going to solve? what is a problem and what is the niche? So you want to commit to that. This is what I'm going to do. So I was just feeling like passionate, and I was like, I'm going to go and do my body barrier program again, because I had made 6 figures as a health coach doing body barrier coaching. I'm like, I'm just going to do that, and it's just going to be fun, so find the fun and find the passion and find the problem. Okay. So you're typing in, what would your niche be? What problem would you solve? And if you don't know what that is, I can support you with that. Okay. So decide and commit, know the facts, and pick the niche of what you want to do. Are you all typing in? Okay. My niche is working with physical clutter. Ooh, yes. Oh, I love that stuff. I solve too many problems and always want to pick a niche. Okay. So yes, you need to changing my niche and don't know yet. Exactly. Okay. So that is what is super fun. So aging for women over 45. Yes. Oh, you have such a good story, Suzanne, too. She released a whole bunch of weight. She transformed her body. I work with midlife women who get to break the pattern of putting other people first. I believe in radical self-prioritization as a way to actually create extraordinary relationships and results. Beautiful. That's huge. And then you have your story of overcoming cancer, from what I remember. Oh, yes. Okay. So find your niche, find that you're passionate about, but focus on making it be the problem you're solving for them, that they're literally want to pay for. Helping people find their soul passion and manifest their creativity through blog, podcast, and online course. Good. So I would even just pick one specific one, helping them manifest their creativity. So you need to have another step in that, so that and always just ask yourself, so that. So what's the bottom line? What is it that they want at the base of that? Is it to make money? Is it to leave their job? Is it to have a new creativity? Okay. So decide. The second move, you'll love this one. And this is something like I have a gift at, but I haven't always used because I'm more in my masculine JFDI. And how many of you are more in your masculine, let's just get it done, like results, like I need to achieve, I need to accomplish, like give me like the check marks. Like I'm all about that. So this was new for me, even though this is truly one of my amazing gifts. Like when I'm working with my clients, I see things and I have the intuitive gut and all these great things. Okay. So number 2 was intuition. I have been, but it's too exhausting at this point. Okay. It is. It's too exhausting. So the second step here for me was intuition. And really, here's the core move I made. Guys, this was the game changer. This was like the most exciting thing. So what I did, I've been self-care, spent a lot of time. Okay, good. Okay. 2-step intuition. Exactly. So the key for me was I journaled the night before and I wrote in my journal. It's not this one because it happened last month. And look at how much I journal a lot. This is just since July 1st. Okay. Like I'm a big time journaler. So I journaled and I said, God, this is what I desire. This is what I want. And I'm literally like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but this is what I desire. This is what I want. And I did that. And then I've also started a routine where I wrote on a 3x5 card. And this is something I've done 3x5 cards since I was like 18. Like when I went off to college, I just started saying affirmations and looking in the mirror and saying this. So I've had seasons of it, but I hadn't done it in a long time. So I had the 3x5 card and I wrote on there, I affirmed myself. And then I said, my intention, my desire, I honored my desire that I want to create generational wealth for my children's children. That's a biblical principle I really want for my kids. I want to be able to give my kids and grandkids. And I want that. And I literally look at myself in the mirror every night and I'm like, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. I clearly was like pushing. I wanted 1 million, but that wasn't working for me. So I desire this. I don't know how, and then you turn it over to your subconscious. And like, I guess I read in a book that Abraham Lincoln said, never go to bed without putting a demand on your subconscious. And I don't know if it was Abe Lincoln. I am more of a broad strokes person, so we could Google it later. But so step 2 is intuition, you guys. So anyway, that next day I had this idea. Okay. I was like, hey, here's my idea. And I kept thinking about this client, and I just kept thinking about her. So I am now listening to any little person that pops into my head. How many of you, your mind goes to someone? How many of you ignore calling that person and then you run into them or they call? So I believe that God is giving us these ideas for a reason. So step 2 is intuition. How many of you are journaling before bed? How many of you are looking in the eyes in the mirror? How many of you are doing this? Good. And putting the demands on your subconscious of what you want without putting the pressure on yourself that you have to figure it out. Because you don't have to figure it out. Like their stats that we only use 10% of our brain. So we want to really tap into everything. Okay. So the third step of the 4 core moves is this. You want to act. This is when you want to take your action. And you want to act even though it's uncomfortable. Like it was kind of embarrassing to reach out to this person to basically tell them, hey, I can't get you off my mind. I keep thinking about you and I'm just honoring my intuition. And I said, if it's, I don't even know what I said, if it was about health or weight or body or whatever, but she was like, oh my gosh, yes, let's do it. And she's like, when can you talk? And so we talked that day, and it was uncomfortable, you guys. Like, I mean, she could have rejected me. She could have been offended that I actually asked, here, hey, you look overweight. Do you want to talk? You know what I mean? Like she could have been offended. So there was a lot I was risking, but I did it anyway. And it was uncomfortable. And then I had one other thought. And the thing is with these actions, like what was happening is I was working, like reading my client seminar stories or reading something. And the idea came in and I just wrote it down. Reach out to the name. And then I'm typing, reach out to the other one. So it happened when I wasn't like sitting there trying to make it happen. So that action and discomfort. Now, here's the thing. The thing is, I had my base layer. I had a program. I had a sales page. I had an entire program, Move Beyond Your Body Barrier, that already had modules and guidebooks. It already had a signature system, which we talked about in the mistakes. It already had number 3. I had all that. So this was like really easy for me because I had it all. In fact, I didn't even know how much the program was. When I talked to her on the phone, I was just going with my intuition. I look on the sales page and literally the sales page was like, and that's $10,000. And I was like, oh, so it's $10,000. And I mean, I wasn't like going into this conversation thinking that. I was just following my intuition. So do you guys have, I'm going to get more water. Do you have your sales pages? Do you have your masculine systems set up? Everybody sip. Do you have your system set up? Because if you don't, that needs to all happen. So I was able to receive that. Okay. Then that day, so that was 10,000. Then that day I had a sales call that came in from my webinar, my signature talk, Speaker Way to Success. Have you all seen that? That talk, when I've calculated that talk over the last like 3 years has generated 830,000 or 860,000 from one talk. Literally, the talk is the same from 2018 and it is still going and enrolling clients. So once you set something up that works and you're not, another mistake people make is changing because they have a need to be creative, which I know we want to, but really stay focused on one. So, okay, so that was step 3. Step 4 is this. I guess I already talked about that. Shoot. Well, step 4 in my 4 core moves is having a method or a program and a process and a system. Having that solid structure like a backbone that is that will hold you and support you so that when you act on your intuition, you actually have everything set up to serve them. Structure for your system, which would be having your story down. So there's many moves in here. So you want to have your story, your transformational story that shows that you're vulnerable and an expert. I call that seminar story. You also want to have your seminar story. You want to have your signature system. Like for me, I have my Moxley method, and that system solves a problem that your ideal client knows he or she has. So they're like, this is solving a problem. And then you want to have a program. And you want to charge because you're valuing yourself and valuing their transformation. It's not a one-night stand. You want to be able to have that program that solves the problem and charge anywhere between, I would say, $2,500 to, $50,000 or even more. Okay. So if you, so basically those are the 4 core moves, and just keep repeating those. So out of those 4 core moves, which one do you not have? Or are you not doing, or are you doing them? And I would say that the intuition piece and then acting on it. And obviously you need the foundation, you need the backbone. And if you don't have the backbone, then you need to do the work of doing it. Okay, create a signature program. Yes. And then closing the back door on those 197 sessions. And just because the thing is, people really want what you have. But if you're just doing the one-off session, then it's just, it leaves you hanging and leaves them hanging. Create a signature program. Anyone else want to share? Out of those 4 core moves, like where are you lacking? What are you not doing? I need to structure my system. Wait, I have a system. It just needs to believe in it. Yes. You need to believe in it. Structure my system. Yep. And just like have a really good name for it. Have like something where, and so how you believe in it, in my opinion, is taking people through it. Because once you take people through it and they get results, then you're like, yeah, this works. And when you live it yourself, it works. All 4, just getting started, moving from 9 to 5 into my own story. You need to listen and believe in an intuitive voice. Yes, so good. So when you guys are working on your system, you want to remember these 3 pieces. You want to solve a problem. This is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Solve a problem. That's why people are in business. You need to solve a problem. Then you need to serve. And just open your heart to give. But also when you let go to give, you have to be willing to receive. And that's why you're asking for those higher fees so that you can receive and they feel supported, and so do you. And the 3rd step is then you need to sell, and you need to be making offers consistently. Like how often are you guys making offers? Once a week, once a month, every day, every 2 years, when you look at it, how often are you making offers? Yeah. Because that would be one of your other issues in your tissues, is if you're not making offers, how can anyone pay you? A couple times a week when people get on calls. Good. That's good. Honestly, when the money is low. Oh, nice. So how to create an audience is a big issue. Exactly. So for you guys, when the money is low, because that's like that feast or famine roller coaster. So if you can shift into service, then, and not make it about money, but make it about how can I help? How can I help? That will help. Okay. So if you all want help with this, obviously this is my gift. This is what I'm great at. So if you want help, what you can do is you can book a call with me. And I will look at where you are, where you want to go. And then we can talk about if working together is the next best fit. I have a program called Speak Your Way to Success. There's different levels of the program, and it will, on this call, this call is for you if you have potential, but you're not using it. This call is for you if you feel like you're sitting on a gold mine. So many of you have so much. You have a lot of assets. You have so much to give, but you haven't systemized it. You haven't structured it, and you're not doing it. But you know that you can, and you know you can do it, but you're not doing it. This call is for you if you don't know how. You're like, I want this, but I don't know how to do it. And if you need clarity with someone in your court, because my gift is mining your past with the gold and helping you package up and find your signature system and then your program and sell it. So just like I told you guys, my clients and the systems we came up with, the silver lining system or manifesting miracles with Melinda, those are just some examples. And then how to get those clients. And this is for you if you're really committed and excited and passionate, and that you burn the ships on plan B and you're totally committed to moving forward. So how you guys can apply is go to amandamoxley.com/apply. And then you'll see a bunch of times there and you can choose a time. And I am going off to Girl Scout camp on Friday. So I only have a few sessions available between Thursday, tomorrow, and then Friday morning. And so if you want to grab one of those, they're free. It's not hard pressure or anything. It would be really fun to connect with you. You just apply, and maybe it's out of your comfort zone to do it, but that's the whole point, is for us to get uncomfortable and to connect. So I want you guys to look at your plan right now, and I want you to make a commitment for the next 30 days. So the things you're going to do over the next 30 days, step one, you're going to just make a decision to go all in, and you're going to commit. So where in your life do you need to make a decision? What do you need to close the door on? And where do you need to fully commit? The second step you're going to do in the next 30 days is you're going to really trust. See, the fun thing is like once you start acting on your intuition, that's when the money really flows. I mean, that is so exciting. Guys, that's like literally, we don't need to think our way through it. I mean, you need the system and you need the structure, you need that. If you don't have it, and if you're worried like, well, how am I going to pay for that? Because blah, blah, blah. The point is, once you get that, then you're going to follow your intuition and put it together, and people want what you have. And you don't need to have 1 million people. You just need one person to start. And like my client, Karen, she had cancer. Cancer to coach, and she put together her signature talk, her program, all these things. She did one talk. She had one person on her call, and guess how much money she made from her first talk ever. And she did it on Zoom. She made $2,500, her first client. So you don't need 1 million people. You just need to start. You need to build it. Okay. So you're going to honor your intuition. You're going to take action. It's the third thing. If you fully commit over these next 30 days and you take action, imagine where your life will be. If you uncomfortable action. And the fourth thing you're going to do is you're going to commit to working on your method and your program so that you can prosper. And that's your 30-day action plan. So let me know. I can stick around if anyone has any questions. You can ask me some questions. I'll pop the link to the apply page. If you guys are interested in looking at Speak Your Way to Success, and here's the thing, I have other programs too. So if you are like, well, I don't want to do that, then we can talk about it. Step 2 is intuition. So what you do is you do you fill out you pick a time, and then there's going to be a questionnaire. So that just helps me get to know you better and prepare. And then we get on the call. That's how it works. So any questions for me about today's talk about these 4 core moves, about these 5 fatal mistakes, about anything. Oh, I'm going to give you guys a PDF. I'm going to email that out. Hold on, I can probably pop that in. I'm going to mute this really quick.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so there is the 7 steps to build a profitable, portable, and playful business that you guys can download. Just right there in the chat. And then I will be sending it out to you as well via email. Okie dokie. Awesome. I'm glad it was just what you needed. Me too. It was super fun. 16 months later, I'm here for you. I've been relying on my systems a little too much. So in a good way, though. All right. So does anyone have any other questions for me today? No? Okay. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. So good to see you all and connect with you. And yay, you're welcome. Thanks for coming together in this community. It's been really, really fun. Enjoy the PDF. Friend me on Facebook and go ahead and apply to one of those talks if you want to have one with me. Okay? Lots of love. Bye, everybody. Remember to JFDI. Bye.